This changes everything for the Montreal Canadiens as it's been officially announced they've signed their top prospect to an entry-level 3-year deal, and this changes the entire outlook of the Montreal Canadiens heading into not only these playoffs, but for the rest of the future, cementing them as one of the best teams moving forward. We're going to break all this down, the implications and more on this episode, so you're not going to want to miss it. Before we get into that, if you're a part of the 91.3% that's not subscribed, if you're enjoying this daily NHL content or content on your Montreal Canadiens, make sure to go down and hit that free subscribe button. It helps us out, and we'll keep you up to date on the Montreal Canadiens and the rest of the National Hockey League. But with that, we got to hop straight into the first topic today, where we do see the Montreal Canadiens do sign Demidov. Now, looking at this, we do see from SKA Ice Hockey Club, they say, "Thank you, Ivan. SKA and Ivan have taken a joint decision, which will see the forward join the Montreal Canadiens this season. The KHL rights still remain with SKA if he ever decides to return, but let's be real here, he's not going back as he signs a 3-year entry-level contract with the Montreal Canadiens today. He does have a Conn Smythe bonus, so if he does win the Conn Smythe with the Montreal Canadiens, he does get $525K. They do burn a year off his contract by signing him even before he does get into the team. So you will have him for 2 years after this year, still 3 years, including this year. But Demidov is a part of this team and a part of a huge future for this Montreal Canadiens team. Now, if you don't know who Demidov is, we're going to break down exactly what the Montreal Canadiens are getting with the top prospect in the entire National Hockey League and the top prospect to join the National Hockey League as of today. Now, looking at Demidov, we do know a 5th-round pick by the Montreal Canadiens. I want to start by saying, I don't know how the hell he slid this far in the draft, but the Montreal Canadiens got a star talent with him at this pick. With SK St. Peterborough this year, 65 games played, 19 goals, 30 assists for 49 points. He went on into the playoffs at 5 points in 6 games, 3 goals, 2 assists. And if you're a Montreal Canadiens fan, if you've been following Demidov, you know the biggest thing is he was not getting a lot of ice time, spending a lot of time on the 4th line. We're not going to get into the politics of it, but he did not get as much playing time as he deserved or what we expected, and he still went out to put up record-breaking numbers. Now, looking at Demidov joining this Montreal Canadiens team, we see the brief summary coming from Montreal. Kent Hughes announces Tuesday that the team has agreed on the 3-year deal. He appeared in 65 games, putting up 30 assists, 19 goals, adding the 3 goals, 2 assists, and he set the new KHL record for most points in a season by a U20 player. The previous record was held by someone named Kirill Kaprizov. And listen, everyone knows who Kaprizov is, a huge part of the Minnesota Wilds. As the youngest player to play the full season with SKA, he led SKA in assists and points. He was also named the KHL Rookie of the Month 3 times this season, earning the honor in September, December, and January. He was selected by Montreal in the 5th round, and as I said, this kid's a stud. We're just going to go right back in and watch the highlights as I talk on how electric this kid will be with the Montreal Canadiens, a team that's already looking a lot better and farther along in this retool than people expected. Him joining the Canadiens this season opens up so much for the team going into the playoffs. Listen, looking at even Cam Robinson of elite prospects, if you want to follow anything to do with prospects, Cam is a must follow on Twitter or X, whatever you call it nowadays. He said, Demidov is a legitimately special player. The excitement is justified. Many as I know, I hate making player comps, but everyone else loves hearing them. Also, so Demidov is shades of Kirill Kaprizov, and no, it's not just because they're both Russian, it's because they're both so incredibly good. Demidov joining this team is going to add so much to this top 6, a team that is currently fighting. Listen, this video is currently being recorded during the Detroit and Montreal game, end of the second intermission, when I started recording this, so they are tied 1-1. But this is a team that has a lineup of so many young players and so many players blossoming into being stars. Looking at the lineup, I mean the top line of Suzuki, Slafkovský, and Cole Caufield. Listen, one of my closest friends is Josh Goss of Habs Digest. I'm sure you guys know him, especially if you're watching this video, but he talks about Suzuki so much, and this is a budding star in the league. The second line, or technically the third line, of Dvorak, Anderson, and Gallagher adds so much veteran leadership to the team. Newhook and a Newfoundlander like myself, awesome to see him playing, and I do think this is where we see Demidov maybe join the line of Line A and Newhook, or we could see him jump straight in with Dvorak, Gallagher, or Dvorak and Anderson. This team is going to inject him straight into the top six, at the very least a middle six, and I cannot see it being any lower than the third line. He's going to join the Montreal Canadiens, and there's no chance that he joins Lavelle. I mean, looking at the team, Nick Suzuki has been incredible this year. 27 goals, 57 assists for 84 points. He's going to score 30 goals. He could put up 90 points by the end of the season. Cole Caufield is chasing 40 goals this season. Lane Hutson, who we haven't even talked about in this video yet, looking like he's going to win the Calder this season. Slafkovský is having his coming out party, not having close to 60 points, but he still has almost 20 goals, being a force and being so hard to play against. With this Montreal Canadiens team, it just scratches the surface, which include Patty Laine, who has one of the best goals per game in the NHL, 20 goals in 47 games, 33 total points. Dvorak is having a bit of a bounce back. Matherson is someone that maybe does move on from this team, but you have such a young movement with this team. They have the goaltenders to do it as well. Montembeault was selected for the Four Nations. And listen, if you love Team Canada hockey, you can see it in my background. I love it just as much. It was awesome to see him join this team. And like I said, listen, the Montreal Canadiens are currently fighting for the playoffs, currently in the wild card. As I said, they're currently playing Detroit, but as of recording this, up 6 points on them. If they win this game, I believe their odds jump up to almost 100%. We know the Montreal Canadiens have been one of the best teams in the NHL since the Four Nations, a 5-game winning streak, maybe a 6-game by the end of this video, going 5-3-2 in their last 10. This has been big help from key players within this lineup. As I said, you have the Young Guns line, and they're not really a Young Guns line anymore. I mean, Suzuki is still in his mid-20s. Slafkovský is only 21 years old, and Caufield's only 24, so it is pretty much a Young Guns line, and it makes me feel quite old, honestly. But with them, with the talent around him, Goulet coming back, Hutson looking insane, the trade for Carrier was awesome, Montembeault has been great for this team. Everything is working out perfectly for this Montreal Canadiens, and it really shows how good this team's going to be once Kent Hughes finally gets his selection over from the KHL, and it seems like it's going to happen in the coming days. Demidov is going to debut for this team. He's going to maybe make a big impact in the regular season, but it doesn't even scratch the surface on what he can do going into the playoffs. Well, listen, Canadiens fans, what's your thoughts on Demidov? Listen, we're going to run the highlights real quickly again. This kid is electric. It's going to be awesome to watch him in the NHL and see exactly what KHL fans and Montreal Canadiens fans have been hyping this guy up. He's going to be a stud in the NHL. And what's your guys' thoughts? How many points do you think he can put up in maybe the final 3 games? What do you think he does in the playoffs? Maybe he wins the Conn Smythe and gets his bonus that we see on the screen there, $525K. That would be some story to follow. But what your guys' thoughts on this? Go ahead and leave a comment below. What's your thoughts on Demidov, and who do you think a good comparison is? Do you think it's like Cam Robinson said? Do you think it's going to be a Kirill Kaprizov number 2? Because listen, that would be a huge ad for this Montreal Canadiens team. But that'd be it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button. As I said, almost 92% of you guys watching this are not subscribed. It's completely free to hit the button, and we'll keep you up to date on not only the Montreal Canadiens, but the rest of the National Hockey League. And you're not going to want to miss this content, as it's been a crazy season so far. But listen, I've been your host, Mark Pai. Hope you have a wonderful day, and take care.